One of the most famous illusions in the history of magic is cutting a person in half. Of course, I'm going to need some volunteers. Would you all help me out? Let's give them a little hand. Come around this way. Oh, she's making her own way. Hi. Step on the red dot there. What's your name?
Sophia.
Sophia, nice to meet you. And George. Sophia and George, big hand. Now don't worry, you'll be cutting me in half. There wasn't enough room on the red dot for all the boxes and blades, so we'll be using this rope. Now it's not a jump rope. Hold it right there for me, great. And it's not for tug of war. Just think of it as a giant cheese cutter. Now pay close attention or this could go horribly wrong. Now it happens every time I'm finished and somebody out there says, wait, I missed it. Can you do that again? So I see most of you are looking at me, but I need to look back at every one of you to make sure you're looking at me because I don't want you to miss it. All right. Ready? Ready? Let's give our volunteers a great big round of applause. Yeah, you can go on back to your seat. You made the TED stage. Congratulations. Get myself put back together here. That should feel strange for about the next 10 minutes, but we should be okay. Now, if you came to one of my performances, you'd see about another hour of stuff like that. But today, I'm here to help you understand that you are a magician too. A magician that will use your powers for good. But first, I have to explain how magic works. And then I'd like to tell you a little story. See, every magic trick has three parts. The ordinary, or the rope, the extraordinary, or the magic, but you can't get from the ordinary to the extraordinary without part three, the secret. Now, I know the secret to the rope trick. I've been practicing the secret for a long time. And what I know is, most of you really don't want to know the secret to the rope trick. What you want is the power to create joy and wonder for somebody else. My wife and I traveled to Rwanda to visit a child we'd been sponsoring, Emmanuel. The genocide of 1994 created a need for hundreds of thousands of children for basic support. There's Emmanuel in the middle, his mother's on the other end. Not my best fashion day. My wife was rocking it though. Now through that trip, we learned that Emmanuel had been suffering from an ear infection for 8 years. Surgery was needed to save his hearing. The organization asked if we would pay for the surgery. He needed the ordinary to transform into the extraordinary. This wasn't a rope trick. What was the secret? How much would the surgery cost? Well, we returned home. Weeks went by. No word. I was driving back from a magic show I'd just performed. My wife calls. She says they've given us the price for the surgery. Holding my breath, she gave me the number. It was almost the exact amount I'd made doing something I loved. Something I would have done for free. The secret was provided. The surgery was a success. It was in that moment I reinvented how I thought about my passion for performing. See, my secret is doing magic tricks. It touched someone who was in pain, someone who wasn't even sitting in the audience. It blows my mind to think about the improbable connection between me, some magician doing something like a rope trick, and a boy from Rwanda half a world away. What's your secret? Think about it. You've been practicing it for a long time too. It's something you love to do, something you are really good at. Now that secret power doesn't sit up here, it hangs out right here. You already know what it is. It's your abracadabra. Hey, that's fun to say. Your abracadabra is that thing that everybody says, how do you do that? You don't think twice about it because it becomes natural to you. You just do it. I want you to reinvent the way you think about your abracadabra because I know it has the power to create joy and wonder for somebody else. I've seen it happen time and time again. Now, there's a part of our brain called the Empathy Cortex. It regulates how willing you are to help somebody else. Okay, that's ridiculous. I just made up that last part. Somebody said, put some science in your presentation. You'll sound more convincing. Well, I don't have to convince you that people want to help people. It's the how we do it part we just make so complicated. I volunteered at an organization in the lowcountry that serves the homeless. I learned that helping doesn't always mean serving food in a soup kitchen. I saw a man with a passion for numbers, help with tax returns, job applications. I also learned homeless people have jobs. A hairstylist closed her salon one day a month so she could cut hair for homeless men and women. Do you like to run? Did you know there's a national organization that uses running to instill self-confidence in young girls? Now, I'm not saying you have to give your abracadabra away for free all the time. A manual surgery took some money. There's also a misconception that helping someone or volunteering means you have to show up at a certain time on a certain day. Yes, there are plenty of organizations in the Lowcountry that would love your support. But reinvention requires creative thinking. Think about your place of business, your favorite coffee shop, your neighborhood. You have a little corner of the world that desperately needs your abracadabra. Improbable connections will grow from wherever you are today. Now, business leaders, think about how your team would feel and your customers would benefit if you could harness all of the abracadabra of everyone in your building. Now, you might be sitting out there saying, I don't have any special talent or skills. How do I get that abracadabra stuff? Well, what you might consider insignificant can actually be life-changing to somebody else. Do you have a heart for encouraging others? Maybe people always come to you for that certain kind of advice. Have you experienced something really tough and you're willing to tell the story? Any of those can be an inspiration. And let's face it, in our busy, preoccupied world, simply taking that device, turning it off, and being fully present can be the most powerful gift you give today. Now, when we program our brains to genuinely want to give more of our abracadabra, you will be amazed at how quickly improbable connections will grow. I didn't say impossible connections. I said improbable connections. Because we just can't imagine something that we consider ordinary can transform into the extraordinary when we're willing to step right into the middle. And be ready to give away your abracadabra in the moment. I never leave home without something in my pocket that I can perform. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Happened to me. You're going to receive way more joy and wonder than the joy and wonder you're able to deliver. So guess what? You're going to figure out how you can do it more often. Why wouldn't you? Now, as I stand here today, I see a theater full of magicians with some serious abracadabra skills, ready to deliver joy and wonder, because you know your secret. And now, you have the power.